Hello everyone, welcome to Kahliya. This is Mia. I hope you're doing well. Lavender us up a little bit, okay. Okay, today is going to be a little bit different, and it's a little bit difficult for me, and soon you'll see why, but it's important, so bear with me. I believe that we need to be transparent, and I believe that we all lead by example, not just by words, which is why I'd like to tell you a little bit about my experience behind the teachings that I am trying to deliver, okay? I want to start by something a little bit light and more cheerful as an example, okay? The other day, I live on the second floor in an apartment building, okay? And the other day, the neighbor just below me, who has a garden, suddenly decided, their garden is like a mess. Not a mess in terms of wild flowers, but a mess in terms of a real dirty mess, okay? And she suddenly decided to clean it all up, like dragging her husband into it, and just like, and in one day they did it all. It was like absolutely amazing. And she didn't say anything, and I just read people, okay? I read people's energy and what they feel and go through. And so I know that the other neighbor that came in about a year ago, when she came in, no, more than a year ago, but she totally transformed her garden, but very, very meticulous and very, very, up till today, she keeps taking care of it, and it's really something to see, okay? And I know that these neighbors just below me have seen it and have been inspired. And then just one fine day, she decided to do it, right? And I needed to do some stuff on my terrace, okay? And the energy that I got from this sister, because this is how we didn't talk. I just felt her energy. Of course, it has a lot to do with the full moon lunar eclipse and the transformation that we're all going through at this time. Everything is related, but I'll show you where I'm going with this. I sensed her energy, and I have been sensing her energy for a while now, but that's not important. What's important is I sensed her transformative energy, and I was inspired, and I was contaminated by the energy. And it was like the push that I needed to do what I needed to do. And so that same evening, even though it kept getting darker and darker, I went amok on my terrace, all right? And so what I want to show you is we are all, and I have written about this several times, we are all teachers, we are all healers, all of us, absolutely every one of us. We have the ability to inspire others, And we don't even have to say a word. We don't have to be in any specific profession to heal others. And we don't need even to be philosophical or spiritual or educational, because we are examples, and we lead by our example. And so in this case, look at the ripple effect of what has happened. And I'm sure you know examples of this in your daily lives, all over, okay? But it's an example, and I mean, there are millions of examples of people saying a kind word, or, of people behaving a certain way. And so today, what I want to talk to you about is our healing, as always. And it's more about anger and forgiveness. And I will post 2 links in the description box below of probably the highest, or among the highest examples of leading by example that I have seen. And I'm sure that they will touch you very much, and I'll show you. I will soon get to that. Many of you may see me as very lovey-dovey, with light energy, and always I do my best, but I am going through, and I have mentioned this before. By the way, I need to mention that I do write a blog, and if I'm not here for those who only watch this video on YouTube, if I'm not here, I'm writing on the blog, okay? So I'm always following the energies, always reaching out, and always trying to uplift. Now, soon I will show you why sometimes I'm not on here. Sorry. I have gone through and go through a lot of pain in my life, just like all of us. Okay, I signed up for this. It's part of my path. I, just like many of you, am clearing a lot of density, not only in a lot of pain, not only for myself, but for my lineage, and also for the collective, which makes this some heavy duty stuff. And a lot of you do that as well. A lot of you empaths, whether you know it or not, are actually clearing a lot, not only for yourselves, okay, which makes it more explainable why you go through so much pain. Okay, now, like I said, this is not easy, but so bear with me, okay? I have gone through a lot of abuse in my life, and like I said, I have signed up for this because there is nothing that does not have a higher perspective, and there is nothing that is not enabled by the divine, okay? And so, among other things, I have been going through a lot of spiritual psychic attacks, and as a matter of fact, I am going through one now. I am talking to you from within physical pain, and I have had a very rough night. And I tell you this not for pity and not to complain, but I need to explain to you something from within my raw experience. The reason it's difficult for me to talk is because I am in pain, okay? So, a spiritual attack, a psychic attack is not new to me. I've had a lot along the years of a lot of jealousy, a lot of people who try to inflict pain or block my path, my professional path, my projects have been sabotaged, whatever. Okay, I'm not worried at all. I know that I go through this for a reason. And like I said, there are no challenges that come to us that are not enabled by the divine. So what happens is, if you think that these people have higher power than the divine, then you're wrong. Okay, these people have certain gifts, if you want to call it gifts. Okay, I don't want to go into it, but I just want you to know that just like all is enabled by the divine, their path is seen by the divine as well, and they will come into consequences for their ways. So it's just the way the universe works. The light is the path, okay? And it is the path of creation, and it is the higher path. And it is also in our creation, and I have mentioned this before, I think in writing, we were created with free will. That is part of our creation. And so some have chosen the path of darkness. And so there's something also that I need to explain. The souls that create harm to us in any way, shape, or form, they are not incorrigible. They are souls that are on a path of evolution towards the light, and they may take longer than others, and they are used by forces of darkness because of their weaknesses. These people normally have a lot of lack of self-confidence, lack of love, of self-love. They have not been shown love. They are disconnected from their own light and their own hearts. But it's not that they don't have them. They have light and they have souls, okay? And so a lot of people that receive, for example, psychic attacks, send that energy back to them, and I don't believe in that way, and I have already mentioned that in one of my recent videos. I normally, I talked about this, I know, I normally transmute the energy into light, and if I don't feel that I can, I ask higher powers to help me transmute the energy into light for the greater good of all. There is no reason, no healthy reason for us to recycle evil energy, okay? This isn't going to do good to anyone, and certainly not to ourselves. And this is the source of what has been said by many, like Martin Luther King, about, not hating, but turning love into hate, because revenge is not going to get us anywhere good, okay? And that is in any way or form, and on any level. And so that goes towards everything on your personal path and your collective and our collective journey, okay? And so I know a lot has been said about this, but I am showing my personal example so that maybe this can shed some light on your path personally or even towards the collective, okay? So last night, like I said, I have been going through this. It's not new to me. I cannot tell you that there were not moments that I felt the urge to send that energy back, but I stopped myself. And I've learned that that is not the way. And sometimes it's very difficult because when you're in so much pain, you know, that's what you would like to do. First of all, to get rid of it. And second, because there's a lot of anger that comes up. Why is this being done to me, right? And so you get angry. But many times, not always, I admit, but many times I have sent light to my attackers also, because I think that that is the way that we heal. And last night, I have been working on this, and I know it's on the way out, okay? And I have to tell you also another aspect of this that is very important, okay? But let me just finish this point. Last night, in the peak of the pain, because I have reached hospital and surgery before because of this. So, you know, there's a lot of fear, even though I am aware and everything. In the peak of this pain, there was a lot of anger. And I asked my divine guidance, why am I still going through this? And why so much pain? Why? And why am I unable to transmute this like I normally am? And I have been shown that this is residual pain and anger that I am harboring within me and not releasing. Okay? And so this is what I'm on to now. This is such an important message. Okay? So, okay, let's go back a notch. I have said that the universe or the divine, the creator, God, whatever you like to call this and see this as, enables our challenges always. Always. What I mean is, if we go through challenges, this is enabled by the divine, okay? No one bypasses the divine, okay? No one is stronger than the divine, okay? So if it is enabled, that means that there is something that you have to go through, or we as a collective have to go through. And that means on a higher level that there are lessons that we have to learn. And we have to release a lot of older pain and anger that we are harboring because it is poisonous for us and for others. Okay, so I have mentioned many times before that recurrent challenges that come to us signify a learning curve that is not finished, okay? And it also signifies a certain energy that you are still harboring. Energy of a prior wound, okay? And so I've talked about this really a lot, and I think you probably know about this by now and understand it, hopefully. And so for me, sure, I'd like to, I have evolved, obviously, along the years. I have worked on myself. And obviously, just like hopefully all of you, obviously I have worked on forgiveness. And every time I think, yes, I forgive, And nope, Creator shows me not really, not all of it, not totally. And so there we go. Okay, cycle after cycle after cycle until we're free. Think of that. And so I come back to the links that I will show you, that will be posted in the description box below. There's an example of a woman that attended the trial of the guy that killed her son. And she shows total compassion and forgiveness towards this guy and his family. And so much love that it's absolutely incredible. Incredible. And she says, maybe my son died to save your life, because what is important for her is, as she says, she will not leave his life now, and she will make sure that his life, he will become better, and he will make a better life for himself, even though he is in trial and probably is going, or has, because this is 2 years ago, so he's probably in jail. But her forgiveness and her dedication to compassion and to freeing his soul from her anger and to freeing her soul from her own anger and to freeing the collective souls of this anger and this possible recycled energy. She has done so much to herself, to her son, whose soul is eternal, and to this man who, with her help, has opened his heart and his soul to the path of his evolution. And you can see in the video that he cries and asks for forgiveness and is grateful. And the other video as well of a man in a similar incident says that he doesn't blame him, he blames what he calls the devil that has used him. And when you see these videos, this is the highest example of forgiveness in my eyes, or among the highest. And what I want you to pay attention to, first of all, you cannot not be moved, okay? And it is highly, highly inspirational. But I want you to think, okay, if these men who have committed terrible crimes, do you think that this is not the most influential attitude towards them? I'm not talking about justice. Justice has to be done. But I'm talking about our souls. I'm talking about energy. I'm talking about our anger. I'm talking about forgiveness. I'm talking about healing. I'm talking about the healing of ourselves and of others. I'm talking about the healing of all of us. How do you think a man like that will be most influenced to evolve and to correct his ways and to learn and to grow and to bring us more light and not to bring us more harm, how do you think he will be most influenced? By our anger or by our light? And I want you to think of it. I want you to think of it because it has clarity for so much. It encapsulates almost everything we're going through. Again, I'm not saying that anger is not legitimate. It is. We need to acknowledge our anger. We need to process. I'm sorry, I don't know if I mentioned rolling back the camera. I don't know if I mentioned, just to end my bit of my story, is that in the peak of my attack in the night and in the peak of my pain, I sent love to my attacker. Okay, when I understood the message, I sent love. I dug deeper into myself and found more compassion and more love, and I sent it to her. And there's not one, unfortunately, there's not only one, but I will concentrate on one for the moment. And this is how I transmute this energy. And so I'll go back to what I was saying. Sorry, I got a little bit of but it's all good. It's all on the same page. Anger is legitimate. If we have been done wrong, absolutely there is anger, and that is natural. And we need to acknowledge the anger, definitely not repress it, okay? Definitely not deny it, not repress it. We need to acknowledge it. We need to free it. We need to process it. And we need to voice also what we think is wrong. But the fuel, the poisonous fuel of the anger, which is energy, needs to be transmuted. First of all, for ourselves. The other day I live in a village in France, and I walked past the place, forget how to say it in English. And it's just new that the cafes open right after the confinement. And I see sitting there someone. I mentioned recently that I have a friend who passed this recently, and I saw this guy that let's just say has done a lot of harm to the person who passed. Okay, I don't want to go into details, but has got away with it, so to speak. Okay, and He looked at me and I looked at him and I just passed. And so, okay, so I didn't say hello, but it's okay that I don't have to say hello. But the problem is that I felt a lot of anger arise in me just by seeing him sit there. And as I walked home, you know, it was bubbling. And I said to myself, Mia, this is not right. This is not right. Okay, he did something terrible. But you cannot circulate and nourish this anger, not for yourself, not for the energy itself, because that energy has arms and legs. Okay? I want you to understand that whatever is bubbling inside you, it does harm to you, but it also infiltrates to your loved ones and to the world in many different ways. And there are forces that just want this to be nourished. And so that brings me also to the collective energy of chaos that is happening at the moment. Think of that. The anger, the collective anger that is being recycled and nourished is not what we need to heal. And there are those which are very happy to see that happen. And that is not our objective. That is not our goal. That is not the goal of healing and of evolving and of repairing. That's not how it's going to happen. So sure, there's anger. There's anger about wrongdoings done to us and wrongdoings that we see in the collective. So what do? We need to heal. Yes, we need to voice injustice, yes. But we need to tend to the poisonous energy and not to recycle it, so that we heal ourselves, we free ourselves from this poisonous energy, because if we harbor it, we will continue to suffer from it. And we will continue to attract more and more examples of it until we get it. And we also suffer from the energy itself. So we're not free. And we want to be free. And we also do not help others that do cause harm evolve. Again, I want to say these people are souls that are being used by darker forces. They lack the connection to their light, but they are not incorrigible. No matter what you think, no matter what you believe in terms of, they're from another planet, or you're from another planet, or what have you not, it doesn't matter. They have souls. They do. And they are being used. And so, this goes for many different levels, okay? I'm not going to go into that. But the thing is that if there is any hope for us all to heal and evolve, and if there is any real, authentic wish for the end of evil and the end of harm. Then we need to look more responsibly at what we're putting out there. Recycling and nourishing our anger is not the answer. Transmuting it into light and leading by example is the answer. And so I urge you to look within and see, first of all, on a personal level, whatever's happening to you in your life at the moment, there is an initial wound that needs to be healed, and an initial perpetrator that needs to be forgiven. So that first of all, you can heal and you can be free, and also you can influence their healing by freeing them of the captivity of this energy. Be an example to us all. Tend to your own healing. It's the highest order of all. It's the highest act that you can do to yourself and to others. A healed person is free and can spread so much more light to us all. And that is the benefit to all of us, to yourself, freeing yourself, and to us all. So like I said, we are all leaders, we are all healers, we are all teachers. I ask of you today, I beg of you, I do, I beg of you, this is so important. Free yourself, look good within, and see whatever is triggered and whatever is the initial wound. And work on freeing yourself. It may not happen in one hit, but keep working at it. Maya Angelou says, and I don't remember the exact quote, but she says, you do good, you do your best with what you know, and when you know better, you do better. We are all evolving. We are all learning every day, changing, growing. I am not the person I was 20 years ago, neither are you. We all can keep growing and inspire others to keep growing. So be an example today. Tend to your healing and send out only love. And find ways to make a difference, not in shouting and pouting and not in causing harm to others, but in doing something good. God only knows how much we need more good, right? And that can be anything. I don't even have to tell you examples, because at the end of the day, you know, every day there are moments where you can do good, do good. And that's how you help us heal and transform. But first of all, tend to your own healing. Okay? I hope this has helped someone out there. Like I said, I go through my own evolution and my own healing process. And I signed up for this just like you signed up for your journey. And with the challenges and all. And I know that if I'm still harboring any pain or any anger, then I'll still be attracting examples of this until I'm free. And so I share with you my story with the hope that you can see how this relates to your own story. Okay? I send you much, much love. Until next time.